Are we live yet? Are we live yet? Are we live yet? Are we live yet? Hey, what's going on? Happy 7:30 p.m. I hope that you are having a wonderful Monday today. If you're watching this live, or if you're watching this later at a future date, I hope you're having a wonderful day today. So today's topic is going to be: can you be introverted and yourself at the same time? So this question came up for me because I was at a what's called a mastermind, which is where a group of like-minded people gather together to brainstorm ideas and things like that. I was in Austin, Texas, which is in the southern part of the United States. And yeah, so I did want to talk a little bit about that. But before, let's give a little quick few shout outs for some people who said hello. Jonathan Rukenya, good to see you on. Cole Blackburn, Shadow, Lilycross, John, and Danica. Good to see you all on. Thank you for being here. So, yeah, what comes up for me? So I'm going to talk about this past week when I was in Austin. I was having a lot of fun, just hanging out in this group of, I guess, friends, some old friends, some new friends. And what I noticed was pretty much the whole entire time I was hanging out with these people for like 3 days straight, I was very quiet. And this is something that's very normal for me. It's very normal for me to be very quiet. Like sometimes I'll be hanging out with my friends and I'll be that one person while everyone else is talking. I'll be that one person who doesn't talk for the whole entire time. Like I might say, one sentence in like a whole 2-hour span. And I was hanging out with my friend Tiffany, and we're chatting. She was chatting most of the time because she's very extroverted. She loves just talking and sharing, and I just love listening. So sometimes I have this feeling of like, I feel like I should talk more. I feel like I'm like not being social. And my friend Tiffany, who very much embraces herself, she's very, not only is she extroverted, like she is very accepting of people. So I don't know about you. I don't know if you're someone who considers yourself introverted, or sometimes you might feel shy or not want to talk. One thing is, whenever I hear the phrase be yourself, I used to always think that be yourself means that you should be very talkative. And what I realized is being yourself, sometimes if you are an introvert or if you're someone who doesn't talk much, sometimes being yourself is just being a good listener, is just being. So I would say that's a really big lesson that I learned this past week while at the retreat / conference / mastermind I was at. So if you are someone who considers yourself introverted, I just want to let you know it is okay to be quiet, to be silent, to not always talk. However, I do believe that there is very much power in speaking our mind and sharing our voice and not being afraid to speak up. So yeah, I guess for anyone who is a little bit more on the shy / reserved side, who doesn't like to talk sometimes, know that it's okay. But also be mindful that I think we as introverts, we still get to speak up and engage in conversation and practice talking as much as we can. Because yeah, I think it's a very good practice to be able to express how we use our words. And what's funny is, on this live stream that we're doing right now, guess what I'm doing right now? I am literally talking the whole time, often for an hour to an hour and a half. And it's, I don't know how much you could tell if I'm an introvert or extrovert, but of course, I'm on a live stream. I have no choice but to chat, to talk. And I do enjoy talking. But when I'm in a group of people, I tend to be that quiet one. So I just want to let you know, sometimes we have this perception about people that maybe aren't necessarily true. Like I think a lot of people feel like I'm a very outgoing person. In some situations, yes, but in many situations, I'm very, very quiet. So if you are quiet in situations too, it's okay. All right. So that is kind of the topic of today. I would love to keep the conversation for today's live stream going on that topic of, being shy, introverted, extrovert, even extroverted, and how do you be yourself? So if you would love to, dive in, ask any questions that you want to ask regarding being yourself. I'd love to, just continue the conversation. You can ask other people questions in this live stream, get their thoughts for those of you who are on live. And yeah, so we'll continue this conversation. But in the meantime, I will read these comments. What's up, Fample? Good to see you on. Shadow says, I'm the guy who told whenever you make a thumbnail, you have a fan in the background. Nice. That was back in the day when I used to actually have a fan in the background. Is that what you're saying? Because yeah, it's been the winter time, so I have not needed a fan. But yeah. Good to see you again, Shadow. Gerald says, hey, Richard, I don't know if you remember me, but I watched you last year, your streams. Gerald Albert, I most definitely remember your name. And Tex-Mex, what's up? Good to see you on. Yes. Yeah, so as I continue talking, feel free to jump in, ask questions, or share with me how you're doing, how your day was. I'd be curious to know how comfortable do you feel with the idea of being yourself? Do you feel like you are being yourself, or do you feel like sometimes you hold back or you're afraid to be yourself? And I think being yourself in a way takes courage. It's not something that's super easy for everyone. For some people, in a way, they're almost like used to being themselves. They're just I think people who are quote unquote themselves tend to not care what other people think about them. And they just be free. They just, be silly or be quiet. They just be themselves, however they show up in the world. I think people who are themselves, just they're themselves. While people who are afraid to be themselves tend to kind of hold back what they want to say, hold back what they want to do, because they are afraid of being judged. They're afraid of being rejected. And I think that is kind of the difference between people who are themselves and people who hold back being themselves. I do believe the ultimate goal is for us to be ourselves, for us to find that courage to just be, to be vulnerable, to share our both our personality, our flaws, and everything about ourselves, the good and the bad. Yeah. And I think a lot of times, yeah, goodness. Like, I'm reflecting back at when I was in middle school and high school. I think for the most part, majority, like 90+% of people, I almost want to say like 99% of students will feel awkward and uncomfortable in middle school and high school, because that's just kind of the nature of, I guess, adolescence, puberty, growing up, being a teenager. Is we go through those awkward phases, and that's just kind of the way it is. I feel like there are a few exceptions of people who, I guess, maybe grew up with a certain foundation, or maybe how they were raised, where their parents were very open and didn't, they were themselves and they taught their children how to be themselves. So I think those are the few exceptions where people are able to embrace themselves. But for the vast majority of us, I think most of us struggle with quote unquote being ourselves, or feeling completely comfortable with who we are. So if you're one of us, I think it's okay. It's okay to feel awkward. It's okay to not know or be confused on how to be yourself. And if you are yourself and you're 100% yourself all the time, fantastic. Continue being yourself, and go out there and encourage other people to be themselves by you being yourself. And yeah, so I was talking about my friend Tiffany that I got to hang out with during the past week at this retreat conference. I met her, and I've known her for probably 4 years now. I see her maybe like once or twice a year because we go to the same conference. She's the assistant to my friend Hal Elrod, who is like a international best-selling author of The Miracle Morning. I don't know if you ever heard that book. It's an awesome book. And yeah, I'm super grateful to be around a lot of positive people. So, yeah, again, I want to encourage you. Feel free to, drop comments, thoughts on either being yourself, this idea of being yourself, or, uh, you know, do you feel like you're an introvert or you're an extrovert? And what is life like for you? Are you comfortable being an introvert? Oh, interesting. I got a question. So, if you're an introvert, are you comfortable being an introvert? Or are there parts of you that wish you were more extroverted? And then what's funny is extrovert. Now I'm curious about this. If you feel like you're an extrovert, if you're, well, in this case, let's say you're very social, are there times where you feel uncomfortable that you're so extroverted or social? Uh, I don't know. Like, I feel like if you were extroverted, you wouldn't feel uncomfortable because you are naturally social, if that makes sense. But I think I'm very much generalizing the term introverted to extroverted because that's not being social and shy is not the definition of extroverted and introverted. That's like the common misconception. Extroverted refers to extroversion, and introversion refer to how you recharge your energy. So if you're extroverted, that means you recharge your energy, you gain energy by hanging out with people that fuels you, that charges, that like gives you that energy. While if you're introverted, you regain your energy by being alone. And there is probably a correlation between extroverted and being social, and then introverted and being shy. However, you can be introverted, you prefer to recharge your energy by yourself but still very social, and vice versa, I think. So that's what I've learned in my journey. Let's see here. I have Gerald says I have started music production and I contacted somebody in call who's rapping on the beats I make. Sweet, good stuff, good stuff. Yeah. Am I going to play Fortnite? I don't know about that one. Yeah. I not at the moment. Yeah, not at the moment. Not I don't plan to anytime soon. I'm just trying to focus on other parts of my life, but uh, I'm open to considering. I'm actually looking at my calendar real quick. Maybe this Friday. I'll put it as a tentative. I'm not going to make a promise, but I'll put it as a tentative. Tentative. All right. So tentatively, I will put it there. Yeah. Alrighty. There you go. Mm. Who? Let's get some comments. I mean, it's up to you. I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to pry you to comment because your comments make it more engaging. But if you just want to sit there and be introverted and shy, introverted and shy are two different things, by the way, as I mentioned. But feel free to comment if you wish. I will share a story. I'm going to share a little quick story about, I guess, my life growing up. I will say, I think, especially when I was younger, and even till this day, I'm 29 today, and I feel like, this is me just being very open and transparent. I do feel like there are parts of myself where I am, I shy away from being myself. I kind of close myself off because I am afraid of whatever it is. It could be rejection, it could be the fear of judgment, and it is a practice. It is a constant practice to just be myself and not care so much about what other people think. And one thing I realize is, I think as we get older, people who are older tend, in general, tend to not care so much about what other people think. However, there are people who get older, who become older, but they still have a hard time being themselves because they still hold on to that judgment or that fear of judgment from other people. They're afraid that other people will judge them. They're afraid that, their community will shun them, or their parents or their siblings or their friends will think less of them if they are just themselves. And I think that is I think in many cultures that is very common, but I believe, and I'm going to speak for American culture. I think if you live in the United States, I think the ultimate goal, especially in the way that our society works, is the ultimate goal is just to be free, to be yourself. And if people judge you, let them judge you. It's like I think we got to stop caring so much about what other people think about us. And I think that's really like I think that is the prize. That is the goal. That should be the goal of our life. If we don't feel 100% comfortable with who we are, yeah, and it's a balance. I heard. Uh, so I don't know if you know. Here, let me. I'm gonna quickly grab a book real quick, so I can show you who I met this weekend. All right. So I don't know if you've ever seen this guy right here. This guy's name is JP Sears. He has so many videos, like just a lot of sarcastic videos. You can search him up YouTube, Google search him, whatever. He has tons of views. So I got a chance to meet him this weekend or this week, and a question was asked to JP Sears, and this guy is totally himself. Like, if you watch his videos, he's very sarcastic, humorous, and but his real life persona, like his real personality, who he is a sarcastic person. He jokes around, he has fun, he's very lighthearted. So a question was asked to him, and the question was, if you were like, are there situations where you kind of tone down your sarcasm or your quote unquote yourselfness? And he's like, yes, there are situations where I have to tone it down. Like, for example, if I'm with like a conservative rabbi, I'm not gonna crack inappropriate jokes. Like, so it's that, like, it's out of respect that you tone things down when you meet certain people. But otherwise, JP Sears is very much himself, and yeah, like I think it's a gift. So yeah, wow. I'm thinking about all the I don't know, just a lot of examples of people who are themselves. I'm thinking about my speaker friends. I'm sure you know someone in your life, maybe at your school, who is like they're just free. They just do whatever they want to do. Like, their personality is just like, like they're just themselves. You know, maybe someone who is like outgoing, charismatic, and they're themselves in that way. And maybe someone who is uh, maybe more eccentric or quirky or awkward, but they're comfortable with themselves. And I think that's kind of the beauty. I met a lot of awesome personalities this past week at the conference in Austin, Texas, and it was a mix of people. There's some charismatic people, and there's some very awkward people as well. Like, people who embrace their awkward, people who embrace that quirkiness of them. And yeah, I think we get to do that more. And for myself, one thing, again, biggest lesson I learned this past week is embracing my quietness, because I tend to be quiet when I hang out with people. But I'm a good listener. Like, I'm there, I'm focused, I'm attentive. Yes, I'm a decently good listener. I fail sometimes. All right, Gerald, have a good night if you are still here. Let's see. Sam the Ham, what's up? Good to see you on. Aiden, good to see you on. And Minnie Wolf, what is up? Sam the Ham says, yeah, it's all right. I'm not sure what it's like, but I was yeah, I don't think it's so funny because I'm going on now to see what I was like about. What? I'm thoroughly confused or thoroughly trolled, one or the other. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. So, being yourself. I feel like I almost want to say there's nothing more freeing than just being yourself. I think there's a lot of pieces. Like, if you want to feel free in your life, I think there are multiple pieces to feel free. One of them is being yourself. Another one is I think part of freedom is, in a way, taking responsibility, doing the right thing that you know you should be doing. Because when you take responsibility, when you do what you know you should be doing, so maybe that's studying, maybe that's the work that you have to do, and when you actually do it, or taking care of your health, your body, when you actually do those things that you know you should be doing, that will make you feel free because you'll have that confidence within yourself. And yes, so that's what I got. Alrighty. Based off of that, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to give a quick summary. If I'm probably going to end this live stream pretty shortly. I know it's shorter than usual, but it seems like we have a pretty quiet live stream today, which is a-okay. If you do have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments right now, and I will be happy to read them and acknowledge and answer any questions. Otherwise, I will wrap up the conversation for tonight on being yourself and being introverted or extroverted. But before that, Jonathan Mendez Ochoa, what's up? Yeah, I most definitely remember you, man. It's been a while, and thanks for hopping back on. It's been a while. Yes, so I will recap and summarize today's conversation. The topic of today, if anyone missed it, was can you be introverted and yourself at the same time? I believe the answer is absolutely yes. I think being yourself shows up in many different ways. And, contrary to my original belief of what being yourself was, I thought being yourself was being free, crazy, and, I'm like, ooh, like just being your awkward self. I think that is a piece of it. But I think another piece of being yourself is just, if you are a calm person, part of being yourself is just being that calm person. Like, you don't always have to be, social and extroverted and things like that. You could just be chill. And I realized that's a lot of who I am. I'm just a very chill person. So yeah, that's what I got. So continue to be yourself. If you, yeah, whether you're introverted or extroverted, whether you are quiet or loud, continue to be yourself. And I think part of being yourself is also, we also do get to be mindful of other people. There is, I think, life and relationships and all that is a little bit of an art, and it's up to you how you want to do it. Some people are rebellious, some people are loud and obnoxious, some people are funny, humorous, still loud. And I think there is a way to be yourself but also be mindful of other people as well, respectful, and yeah, just compassionate, loving, but also yourself. Sweet. Yeah. All right. So that's what I got for today. Ooh. I want to do a live stream on Wednesday. However, I do have some errands. So I'm not going to promise a live stream on Wednesday for now. But if I do a live stream on Wednesday, it will be announced probably the day of. Probably. But there will be a live stream on Friday, April 29th at 7:30, with the possibility of Fortnite after, because it's been seasons since I've played Fortnite. Yeah. What's up, Juicy Goosey? Good to see you on. Jonathan Mendes Ochoa says, I was been sick due to sneeze, but right now I feel a little bit better. Sweet. Glad you feel better, and I hope you continue to feel better. Yeah, so it is March 25th today, which means that chances are many of you are either, entering spring break or just finished spring break, or spring break is next week or the week after that. Regardless, I hope that you're enjoying this favorite season of mine, which is spring. I love the weather. It's a bright, sunny day here in Southern California. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the weather. I hope wherever you are, the weather is decent or beautiful. Yeah, continue to make every single day count. And remember that you matter. Remember that life is beautiful. And there are so many despite all the challenges that you might be going through, there is always hope, and there is always life will get better. And yeah, I think as long as we just keep pushing through, keep moving forward, keep pushing through, there will always be a light at the end of the tunnel, even if we don't see it, and that things will get better. All right. So I do hope you have a wonderful evening, and I will catch you at the end of this week, if not Wednesday. Um, if you have any questions that you just want to send to me or comments, feel free to message me, DM me, on Instagram, on Discord. You can email me, richard@richardquo.com. Yeah, hit me up. Let me know. I'm here. All right. Besides that, have a great night. Phil, Laura, good to see you on. And signing off for today. Short little stream compared to usual, but I love it. I'm enjoying. Okay. Love y'all. Take care. Have a good night.